Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Business Talk with Ivan. And I run a digital business and I work with people all over the world. And as part of this Business Talk series, I am thoroughly a nosy person, and I love speaking to my other business partners that are doing exactly the same thing as me, helping people start their own internet business. I love speaking to them no matter where they are in the world, all right, because this business is global. It does not matter where you are. And what we do is we help people start their own digital businesses with no experience, all right? We provide all the systems, all the tools that makes starting and running a successful digital business dead easy, all right? Now, today, I am going east, and I'm going west. I don't know if east or west. I'm going west, and we're going to Canada, okay? And we're going to speak to a lovely lady. She's called Sheree, and we're going to hear all about her and her journey into this business, why she started, and how it's working for her. So stand by. This is going to be amazing. Hello, Sheree. How are you?
Hello. That was fancy.
I try.
I like it.
How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Yourself?
Absolutely amazing.
And I think you could go east or west and still get to Canada in much the same time.
Yeah. I've done that before. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know why I keep getting confused. I spend all day talking travel. I don't know why I get confused, but I do.
Yeah, it's true.
How's your day going?
Good. Yeah. As far as days go, everything's going pretty smoothly. I'll take it.
It's still just after lunch for you now, isn't it? It's about 1 o'clock.
Around lunchtime. Yeah, my little guy's just gone down for his midday nap, and my little girl's at pre-K. She'll be home in about half an hour or so, and then we have the whole family home for the rest of the day.
Amazing. I'm just saying we've got. So hi Nadia, we've got Nadia watching from New Jersey. So hey, thank you for tuning in. If anybody, so we have got a few people on. Please grant StreamYard permission and say hello. Put a comment in, tell us your name, tell us where you're watching from, and we will give you a shout out and a hello. And if you've got any questions for us, feel free to ask them. So we are here and we will do our very best. Can't promise we can answer them, but we'll certainly try our best. But yeah, so anyway, right, let's get into this. So Sheree, tell me a little bit about you. Tell me about your background. What were you doing before you started this business?
Yeah, for sure. So I don't sound Canadian because I'm actually Australian, but I've been living in Canada for the last 10 years.
Awesome.
And prior to moving over, I was kind of a bit of a, traveler. I was doing, real short-term work at all the travel places. I enjoyed that lifestyle, and that's what actually brought me to Canada. I followed the snow season, then I met my husband, and now the rest is kind of a bit of history. So, leading up to, the last 10 years while I've been in Canada, I've had all kinds of jobs. I've got a very colorful resume. I'm not a career person. I wasn't career driven. So I didn't come from just one industry. But my last industry, I guess, was banking. I was a teller at a bank and also serving at a restaurant. So I had 2 part-time jobs. Then I started having kids. Oh, hey, Camille. I know her. And I actually I interviewed her one time, which was fun.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
I'm Ivan, by the way.
I know. So I had all kinds of jobs, and then had my babies, and then we're in a bit of a not a unique situation. There's a lot of us doing it, but my husband's a police officer. Okay. So that's a very unstructured job. He has overtime when you can't predict it. He has court dates that just get, brought up or cancelled last minute, all kinds of things. So, logistically, it didn't make much sense for me to go back to the jobs I had, or really any job, because you never knew when, he was going to get called out. If I had an evening job, he'd get called out at night, of course. Or if I had a day job, he'd get called out a day. And I didn't want to juggle having to have multiple babysitters on hand, daycare on hand. It didn't make sense to me for the minimal money I was probably going to get. So, from the get-go, we decided that I'd be a stay-at-home mom, which I wanted to be anyway, because my mom was. So that's what I know. I don't know what a working mom situation looked like. My mum started working when we were older, so
Right.
it's kind of all I knew anyway. But then, because his RCMP, which in Canada means that you move every 3 to 5 years, so we moved twice already, and you're there for a few years, and then you're gonna upend your life again and the kids and get going. So we knew where we were, that it made sense for me to be a stay-at-home mom. We knew we could afford it. We knew that there was going to be lots of overtime there. It wasn't a very friendly place to work, but we knew that the money was going to be coming in. We knew we could do it. We knew we could add to our family there, but we didn't know where we were moving next. We didn't know the logistics of that place, the rent, the cost of living. And as it turns out, we've moved to Northern Alberta, where everything's far away and more expensive. So, with that unknown, is what kind of led me to starting this online business. I wasn't looking for one. I wasn't actually, finding, a best option. I stumbled across this, and it kind of ticked the boxes that I didn't know I was looking for. And I was like, hey, that kind of looks like that would fit into my life. And then it kind of went from there. So, I've been going for bit over 2.5 years now. And, since then we've had a move, and it went all smoothly. I didn't have to, nothing stopped in my business. It kept going and has kept going and going. And it really was the best decision, because I haven't had to go back to a job.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah. It's been pretty cool.
Was it difficult to learn to work online?
Oh, no. It's Facebook, right? Like a lot of it. Well, when I started, that's mainly what we were taught was, using Facebook for your business and that sort of thing. So that wasn't difficult. Getting everything set up and running wasn't difficult, because we have people doing the hard stuff for us. That's, an amazing part of our system is we have people behind the scenes that, connect the dots, and, we really just have to put our little personal branding on it, our little personal.
It's true.
Yeah, our personality into it. And, if you do that right, that's when that's when it all flows. So.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
A question I often get asked a lot is people say, like, what is it you do exactly? What is this kind of this online business that you're always talking about? But so when people ask you that question, what do you say? How do you explain what you do online?
That's a wonderful question, because I still need the perfect answer, to be honest, because it is unlike anything else. It's so hard. We can't just put it in a box. If someone says, oh, I do Amazon, or I do Tupperware, people automatically know roughly what that entails. But when you just say, I help people get started online, they're like, but, what does that really mean? So. Yeah. So, I like I said, I have trouble sometimes explaining it, depending on how they're coming in, I guess, how they're asking it, whether, I think sometimes if they ask in a certain tone, they're expecting a certain answer. So I kind of adjust it. But usually I just tell them, just as you said before, we're helping people get started online with their own online business. And the key things that I say, because they were the biggest tick boxes for me, was that we don't have any products. We don't have to do any direct sales, and we can keep our friends and family far and wide away from it. Of course we can, but, we're trained how to avoid that situation and avoid that typical sales type thing, because and you know what, I think the reason why my brother and sister and multiple other people, I've met thousands of people in all my jobs that I've done, and I think the reason that most people have not asked me a single thing about this business is they think that it's that typical, oh, you host a party for me, will you can you just buy this, I'm so close to a new milestone, I'm so close to this, can you help me out? Like, I think they just think that I'm going to ask those sort of things of them, so they just don't ask me. But
I'm the same.
By the time they ask me, I'll be, definitely able to help them out. So
I absolutely get it. I get it, because people are like, there is so much out there, isn't there? There's so many opportunities. You Google it, and you get a big list of 1 million supposed get rich quick schemes.
The bad and the ugly, right?
And that creates skepticism with people, I think it does. And, people naturally are then a bit cautious about venturing into the kind of digital online space.
Naturally.
What do you say to people that approach you that maybe are a little bit skeptical or a little bit cautious about potentially working online?
Yeah, well, I was too a little bit. But most of mine, from the very first time I kind of got exposed to this, I could see that there was realness to it. I could see that it wasn't something shady, but it
Yeah.
wasn't convincing me that there was the issue. It was convincing my husband, being that he's a police officer. So I had to show him that it was legit. I had to show him that I wasn't going to get myself,
Yeah.
tied into something crazy. So it wasn't just me. I didn't, I already knew, but I had to show it to him. So when I have people come and say, is this a pyramid scheme or all those things that it's not, clearly, I'm just like, well, I wouldn't be able to do those anyway. My husband's a police officer. He'd be the first one to throw me in jail for it. Right?
Yeah.
So,
You've got the
or
perfect
he's the
answer there.
first one on my butt.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, that usually puts people's mind at ease. I'm not saying every police officer is, up and
Yeah.
above, but, he is. So,
Yeah.
so
No, I get it.
I had to do my due diligence. I couldn't jump in unknowing of everything. So I did thoroughly research it before I got started. So I am able to, tell people that I did and why. And that usually helps put their mind at ease, at least to explore it a bit more for themselves and make sure that
Yeah.
they know everything that they can about it before they then decide no.
Yeah.
Right? So.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get it. It is. And to be fair, that you have got the perfect answer for somebody there, because every day well, that's why I do this. To be fair, I think this is the best way for me to show that we're real people.
Mm-hmm.
This is real, and by showing us live, all right, and allowing
Absolutely.
people to interact with us live. I can't think of a more effective way to show that we are legitimate, because
We are not robots.
well, yeah, and also, I mean, if it wasn't legitimate, would we really be putting our names and faces out there to the world online,
Right.
and inviting people to connect with them? I mean, why would you do that? You would be faceless if it wasn't legitimate. You'd never see us.
No.
You'd never see us, right? And you've certainly been able to talk to us live. So that for me, that's the best thing. What do you think makes our program different? Because there's lots of opportunities out there that are legitimate, I get, but being on the inside, being there in like you 2.5 years, our program is different, and I know it's different, and it's different. Mm-hmm. But the people watching, tell them. Can you put into words why you think our program is different to everything else that's out there?
I'm gonna word it a little differently. I'm gonna more go why it's exceptional, because you probably had a bunch of people say why it's different, but the things that really stand out for me and make it exceptional, first would be the training, because probably every business that you would start out would have some sort of training, but it might be that you're handheld until you part with your money and then they're gone. Or it might be you're handheld and then you get a piece of paper or something to follow and then they're gone. But ours, I cannot even explain how thorough and complete our training is, and it's ongoing too. So each week we have a business owners mastermind that always focuses on something that is going to give value to business. And we have ones for the people starting out. We have newbie ones, we call them Newbie Tuesdays. So that's for people that are just starting out. So they don't have to be overwhelmed by the bigger masterminds. They can start at the basics, work their way through it, and then, find their groove and get started. And so many other things. When you reach coach status, then they have training that you can do as a coach, which, that's when you're really helping a whole lot more people get started with their business. So there's training every step of the way. And not only the training, my second exceptional part would be the community. And I always talk about the community, and everyone I do interviews with talk about the community. But that was the surprise packet for me. That was the, I knew that there was a community full. We're nearly 100,000 people now. Yeah, if it's not today that it hits it, it's definitely tomorrow. I don't know. We're very close, but that's a strong lot of people. But numbers don't make the community. It's the assistance that they're willing to give. The people that are willing to give their time, their value. It's not like, oh, I found something that works. I'm gonna hide that from everyone because then I will grow bigger. That's not our our way of being taught. And, you know, we've all learned that if you give back, it'll come back. And, you know, it's all gone around. Like, I've helped a whole bunch of people with certain things, and now I know, you know, their strengths. And so I know someone that I can go to for this and go to for that. And, you know, it's really good having that, you know, exceptional, I'll use that word again, that exceptional community. So it's not just people, they're actually people that are willing and able to help. So they're the two things that, you know, make us so much different to a regular business. Yeah.
Yeah, and but they're massive things. They are massive things because
they are.
You know, for anybody who's starting to do the business, to feel that level of support. When I started, it was like a big comfort blanket because I just felt so reassured and protected and just guided. And I just never, from day one, I never felt that I was on my own. You know, we're at home, you know, in my office, you're at home there. And, you know, we've got a laptop for company that's working online, but you're never alone. And I never feel that way, ever.
No. And this last year, with everything that's going on in the world, you know, that can be damaging for people that are, you know, stuck in their houses. Like I was stuck at home with my 2 young kids. Like, I didn't get to speak adult conversation for a while. But in the evenings, I did my business and I could talk, I could communicate. And so I didn't feel like our lockdown was locked down. I felt like I was traveling the world. You know, I felt it made me feel so much more alive than what it could have. I could definitely feel that would have been a very difficult time if I didn't have, you know, the business to help me push through it, right?
Absolutely. I just want to say hello to Ruby. We've got Ruby watching. Hi, Ruby. And you are right. The training is incredible. And it is next to nothing out there. You are absolutely right with that. So, Sheree, I know you mentioned you've been in the business about 2.5 years, well, nearly 3 years, actually. You know, and like any business, there'll be ups and downs. You know, in an ideal world, we'd love it, wouldn't we, if everything was like that. But
everyone would do it then, though.
Yeah, I know. But over the past kind of 3 years, you know, tell me about kind of how important do you think mindset has been for you from as you've gone through that 3-year journey with your business?
You know, I did not even know anything about mindset, law of attraction. These were foreign concepts to me, something I had never even considered. I don't think I'd even heard the words before. I came from a sheltered life, I think, because I was small town. No one spoke like that. No one. And when people spoke something like that, like I guess they were talking about that, to me, it was just like, I didn't know. I didn't understand it. So I kind of just tuned out. So once I started here and they started talking about it, I still kind of tuned it out a little bit because you know, it was still, that was the scary part for me, was this, what, I have to address my mind? What? But you know what? It's been a learning progress and I have a way to go still, I must say. But, you know, there's not a better place that I can learn these things because we do focus on it a lot in our training, a lot in our community. And being around people that are already doing this, practicing this, and it just flows naturally to them, it helps. It helps. So, you know, I would say I'm still, you know, I get now, I understand it. And, you know, I'm really trying to work towards that because, you know, I've had some troubles this last year. Like I've had some postpartum and, you know, I've had some mental struggles, and so it's not always easy to put that the shiny side onto things. You know, it takes that little extra effort. And but if I wasn't trying at all, I could just imagine how dark some days would feel. So, you know, it's really helped having, again, not only the mindset practice and things like that, but the business as well. To, you know, hand in hand, they work very well together to bring some normalcy, some stability, some extra stuff to my life. I don't know how to word it the best, but I think you get it.
I do. Sometimes you can't it's hard to put a label on it and a value on something, but you know inside that something is working and something's helping you. You know, I do totally understand that. I do. What do you enjoy most then about being a digital entrepreneur? Because you have that label, we have that label. That's one of our job titles, if you want to call it that. What's your favorite thing about that?
I would say the people. Oh my goodness, I have met some absolute awesome people doing what I do. Like I said, I was telling you a bit before we started, I was doing sort of an interview series for a while, and I traveled around the world with that, so to speak, and met so many amazing people I would never have touched base with. And right now we're doing ones just for mums because, I am a mum, and we just had one on Monday and it was hilarious. Like I think I was laughing half the time. We spoke for an hour after we finished our live broadcast. We just got along really well, and we have so much in common. And I think that's what's really great about it is, there's so many people in there now. Even when I started, there was so many people, but now there's so many people. You can really find the people that connect with you, it's kind of like, when you go to school and you just put into a classroom and they're kind of going to have to be your friends because they're the people you put with. But it's not like that here. You have this whole abundance of people, and you can seek them out and find people to connect with. And, especially when we can have meetups. We just had, a meetup of some coaches in Alberta here. And oh my goodness, some of the people I met, I laughed so much. I cried so much. I had so much to let out. I didn't realize because I was just so grateful for, all that it is and all that where it was going still. And it was really, I came back very alive from that. And I had a couple of days away from the kids for a bit of a mum break too. So that helped. But it was wonderful. It was very rewarding. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, Agape is watching. So absolutely our greatest treasure is the people. It really is. And we are so blessed and fortunate that we do get to engage and just network and build relationships with people all over the world every single day.
Whenever we go somewhere, I'm like, ooh, who do I know that lives there? Who can I visit? Who can I meet up with? So it's so hard not to. I'm just like, oh, that person lives there. Oh, they're only a 4-hour drive. I'm going to make that work. Like,
I know.
Wonderful.
I'm having those conversations right now because me and Ryan go away in a couple of weeks. So I've already reached out to a couple of people where we're going. So so I get that. You absolutely need to meet all these people. I love that. Absolutely. So tonight is workshop night, isn't it? So this is our twice weekly workshop where we explain all about the business, So for the people that are watching, Sheree, tell them why people should bother to invest time and watch the workshop.
It's so valuable. And I'm the kind of person that I used to sign up for things and not even really know I'd done it. Like I'm like, oh, that looks interesting, put my email in and then not even follow through with anything. But the very second I put my email into this, I followed through with it because I was so intrigued. And I'm so glad that this was the one that I did because I got a very good understanding. I call it an intro session because it really introduces you to this business and leads you towards the steps to find out everything. Like it really covers so you know what you're getting in for, what the potential is going to be. And you get to hear kind of like this, you get to hear, stories and, a bit of people's journeys in the business at the end. I love the testimonials. I think I watched, even after I'd signed up, I think I watched them for about a month because I was still so, excited, motivated from people's stories and what brought them there and what they'd experienced so far. So I kept watching them for a very long time after I started because it was very beneficial for me. And I feel that it's the best way to know whether it's for you or not. And, the reason we have it there is because it's too much for us to explain it. If I've had people, well, can't you just tell me? I'm like, well, yes, but I will take 90 minutes to tell you, just like the info session, but I won't do it as well. I will probably go forward and take a few steps back because I missed something. So this is all, it's perfect. It's laid out in the right order at the right timing for you to understand it properly. So, when people tell you that, it makes sense to go and watch that webinar, it so does, because it takes a lot to unravel it all and make you and word it the way that you would understand it. I think the only way I could do it is if I actually quoted the webinar to someone to actually give it the right justice, and I ain't doing that. That takes away that time that we're getting back, right? The whole point. Or one of the biggest benefits of this business is being able to get time back because of our automated systems. And, the webinar is one of those as well. The webinar is part of the automation that does the explaining for us, so that we're not, if we explain to every single person that signed up in our website, that would be more than a full-time job. And stay-at-home moms like me, stay-at-home moms like me, and full-time workers, you just can't do it. And I'm sorry, kids. Watch TV for the next 18 hours. I have 5 people to tell about a webinar. It just doesn't make sense.
Exactly. Absolutely. And I get to, I'm fortunate I get to co-present them. So I get to, I never cease to be inspired by the testimonials, because we people just come on and they share just what's working, how it's working. And probably most important, which is what people love to hear, is kind of how the business has changed their lives and what the business is generating for them. They're quite open about it, which I love. I think it's amazing.
Yes, it's very, very real.
Yeah, it is, absolutely.
I need to get back on one. I think I'm signed up for early next year, so.
All right, okay. So so for the people watching, the next live one is tonight, okay? And the way that you find out more about this business is by simply going to one of our websites. The addresses are on screen right there. So just register on the website and we will send you more information, all right? And in fact, you can actually watch a replay of the last workshop on the thank you page of our websites, all right? Because the live twice a week, but they won't suit everyone's time zone, no matter where you are. Like for me in the UK, it's 1 a.m. So unless you're a night owl, you're not going to realistically stay up to watch it. But the replay will be sent to you tomorrow. So you always get to watch it. And like I say, the live twice a week. So register, watch the workshop. It's exactly what me and Sheree did. It changed our lives. Best decision we ever made. Here we are, nearly 3 years later, having the conversation about that workshop. And
absolutely.
How it's changed our lives. So Sheree, that's been amazing. Thank you so very much.
Thank you for having me.
That's been awesome. That's been absolutely awesome. For everybody watching, thank you. I'm going to wish you enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you happen to be watching from in the world. All right. And I will see you on the next episode of Business Talk with Ivan. So Sheree, again, thank you so much.
Thanks, Ivan. Great to meet you.
Take care, everybody. See you later. Bye.